Hello, I'm Larry Gifford. I'm the founder of PDAvengers.com, the host of the podcast When Life Gives You Parkinson's, and I am the National Director of Talk Radio for Chorus Entertainment in Canada. And I'm here to talk to you about managing your YOPD and your work-life balance. Strap in. Thanks for being here. On Saturday, November 23rd, 2019, I pulled out my journal and began to scribble in it, and I titled the entry that I was about to write, Suggested Changes to My Life. Ooh, this is going to be deep. Refocused and Reorganized Priorities was the subtitle. Now notice I didn't say, here are my 3 easy steps to a work-life balance. Nope, didn't say that at all. I love my work. I don't know, maybe you don't, but I do. I work in radio. I mean, what's not to love, right? There's stresses. Every job has stresses, and there's ups and downs. But I truly do love the medium. Been doing this for so long now. I can't extract it from my life. Like I can't pit work and life against each other because they're so intrinsically connected. I even use it in my advocacy. So like they're all one. So I can't imagine pitting them against each other. But I was able to write down my priorities that day, which was important for me to do. I realized I wasn't putting myself first in life. So I put me at the top of the page, and then my health, and then my wife and my son and my other family and my friends and my colleagues and my employment and my advocacy. And I did this because I had recently been adding up how many days I'd been traveling that year. Because I thought, boy, I've been on the road a lot. 80 days, it's 20% of the year I was on the road, and mostly for work and for advocacy, which were the bottom 2 things on my priority list, which is out of whack, right? I also realized that when I was home, I was leaving in the morning at 7 a.m., getting up at 6, leaving at 7, and then coming home from work at 5 o'clock. I wouldn't get home till 6. Son's in bed by 9. So 3 to 4 great hours of family time a day. I mean, it was quality time. And not that you have to spend 40 hours a day with somebody, but there is such a thing as quality over quantity. But there's I can do better. Let's just say that. So I decided to really go for some audacious goals in 2020. I was only going to travel 53 days, and I was going to be home at least 5 hours a day in 2020. Let's think back to the COVID, the coronavirus, the pandemic. I crushed those goals. Huh. Talk about a work-life balance. Baby, I had it all sewn up. Oh, man. But under each of those priorities in life, I did make a list. And it's amazing how many of those things I was able to actually do without even referring to the list after I made it. What was I going to do for me? And what was I going to do for my health? And what did I want from the relationships with my wife and my son? For instance, under health, there's the nutrition, there's exercise, there's medications and support groups. And, under that, I had, so for diet, maybe Mediterranean diet and fish and nuts and grains and then intentional, thoughtful choices and less alcohol. Now, I'm not saying I succeeded at all of these things, but there was a good intention behind them. And I did go into that kind of detail for each item on the list. So what was it about November 23rd, 2019 that made me sit down to write this list of suggested changes to my life? Well, for that, we're going to have to go back 4 days, the 19th of November, 2019. I was at an all-day retreat meeting for my real job, and there's about 100 people there. So 3-4 times I had to excuse myself for some personal matters. I was gone for 30 or 45 minutes, and nobody seemed to notice. But that night at dinner, small group of us, a handful of us, went out to dinner, nice dinner. And I excused myself again, and I was gone for about a half hour. And then I hear, "Hey, Larry, are you in there?" Yeah. Are you okay? No, I wasn't okay. I had to admit to my colleague that for 3 weeks now, I'd been having bloody noses. And not just like, hey, I picked my nose and it's bleeding, or I blew too hard and it's bleeding. No, these are like, think of a movie, a thrasher movie, a horror movie with like the fake blood. And like, that's me with the nosebleed, like choking all over it. It was gross. And we cleaned it up and it was beginning to stop. And he put me into a cab and came into a cab with me to the hotel, put me up to my hotel room, made sure I was okay, which was very kind of him. And then 10 minutes later, the nosebleed came back and I suddenly could not breathe. And I kept choking on my own blood. And I was able to push 911 and text him. And then I called 911 and was able to scream out specifics. They put me on the right track, sent an ambulance. I called my wife, put her on speakerphone. I said, "Siri, call back." And which is a horrible thing to do to somebody, by the way, when they pick up the phone and like, but I wanted to hear her voice because she calms me down. She grounds me into the moment, and she's able to talk to me in a way that nobody else can. And I missed her, and I thought I was going to die. I truly thought I was going to die that night because I could not breathe. And I thought I was going to drown in my own blood. And when you think that, and you realize that's your third trip to the ER for a nosebleed in a month, you're unbalanced. I was overworked, overcommitted, overstressed, overweight, overtired, and time was up. I was out of time. I couldn't wait another minute to change my life. I had to do it then. So that was the catalyst for the revisions to my life, as embarrassing as that can be. And despite moving on, proving so many of those items on my list, I'm now back to 11 Zoom meetings a day. One day it was 15 Zoom meetings back to back to back to back to back to back. It's exhausting for anybody, let alone if you have Parkinson's. So I said to my assistant, I said, listen, we're going to limit this. We're going to only schedule 6 meetings a day. We're going to fill in the rest of the day with focus time. Wednesdays, 12:30 to 2, that's executive training. That's when I do my improv. 2 to 3 o'clock every day, nap time. So I'm just marking off my calendar so people can't put meetings in there. See, work-life balance is not an entitlement that your employer can just hand over to you, right? Your company can't give it to you. If you want balance, you can't wish for it. You can't wait for it. You can't whine about it. You have to create it. You won't find time. You have to create the time. And that's true for anybody, but especially people with Parkinson's. Boy, does it get heavy. Parkinson's is a load, man. It just doesn't throw your body off balance. It crashes into your life like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. But finding balance, just like having Parkinson's, is different for everybody. It really, the hard part is understanding balance, right? It's not like going to Staples and saying, I'll take that computer printer cartridge called balance and put it in your head. No, there's no easy button. It is a mental construct, whether you're talking physical balance or balancing priorities. It means doing complex complications in your brain all day long while you're trying to do other things, whatever it is you do. But despite crushing all my goals, thanks to COVID-19, I have learned a few things along the way that I would love to share. Number one, it's kind of hard to talk about it. Write down your priorities. See how out of whack you are. Be specific. Be honest. Where do you want to be? Well, where are you? Take stock. Google 3-box solution. I love this. This is actually a business construct, but it works for just like everyday life too. Box 1 is, optimize the core. Protect the things that are priority in your life. Those get your first priority. Box 2 is everything in the past that's holding you back. So think about the people that zap your energy rather than refuel you. You know what I'm talking about. The people that are whiners and complainers and have poor attitudes. Box 3 is the future. This is where you get to be creative. What do you want to do? What's going to create balance in your life? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to join a gym? Do you want to write a book? Whatever it is, this is where it happens. And you take the time that you saved in box 2 and you apply it to box 3. Fair enough? Good. Embrace 15-minute intervals, 15-minute meetings, 15-minute exercise routine, 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of playing with your child one-on-one, whether it's Lego or cars or whatever. 15 minutes. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's good concentrated time. And it adds up over time. Communication between you and yourself and your body, and you and your Parkinson's, and you and your spouse, you and your work, and you and your care team, and between you and your spirit and your higher self or your God. Communicate, ask questions, ask for help. And most importantly, with communication, it's not just about talking, it's about listening. 2 of these, 1 of these, for a good reason. Practice mindfulness, whether it's grounding yourself, a little deep breathing, in for 3, hold for 3, out for 3, present time, being here, right now. I like to go to the woods and just do some deep breathing. And what do I hear? Yeah, I hear the babbling brook. There's a frog. I can hear Henry screaming his head off behind me. But it's always nice to just sort of just sit there and what do you notice? Get sweaty. I know this is weird coming from me because I'm the guy that doesn't like to exercise, but I've changed my tune. 2021 is my year. I bought a TheraCycle, and now I am Mr. Exercise-ish. But it was Albert Einstein who said, life is like riding a bicycle, and to keep your balance, you've got to keep moving. Right? I like Albert Einstein. And create firm boundaries. Yeah. When I say 12:30 on Wednesdays is executive training time, it's executive training time, okay? Sorry, honey, I can't have lunch that day, but maybe another day. Firm boundaries. And as many times as you say yes, you have to say no. And we're horrible at saying no. So say it with me right now. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. It's fun, right? No, 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 no. So learn to say no, really. And over time, you will learn how to keep balance in your life. You may even be able to balance an egg on its end. You may be able to walk on a balance beam. May have trouble balancing your medication, which reminds me, by the way, the nosebleeds thing. My neurologist called me November 20th and said, hey, Larry, are you still on that baby aspirin? I said, yeah. He goes, get off that. Never touch it again. I'm like, why? Turns out that little baby aspirin, that low dosage of aspirin, was causing my blood to thin so much it couldn't clot on its own. Yeah, for reals. So you never know what it is that's going to pull you out of balance. So it's a constant adjustment. Just know it's not a destination. You're going to get glimpses of balance, and you want more of those glimpses here and there, but it's just moments, right? And then you have to readjust, just like your medication. You have to practice it. You have to create it. And you can't buy it in a pill. That's what I learned. Hey, thanks for listening. Have a great day. I'm Larry Gifford, and I hope you enjoy the conference.